We are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out here so everybody can join in. 1 second. All right. Awesome. Hope everybody had a great weekend, and it is Sunday, November 3rd, 2019, and looking forward to an awesome week ahead. We had a pretty wild week last week and expecting some more action. Just got done with the newsletter this weekend and came up with some great techniques and everything. So really looking forward to that. So just remember, everything we're going to talk about today is for educational purposes only and non-investment advice. All right, so let's get started here. 1 second. Let's get this pulled up there. Okay, good. All right, awesome. Good. All right, let's take a look and see what is happening in the market. I have so many screens up. Let's see what's happening in the market right now. So October is officially over, right? So we've already started November, so you can see we have this this green monthly, essentially Marubozu right now. So we'll see what kind of continuation that gets into next week. In general, everything is looking pretty bullish. We have the we had a very bullish month last month, right? Bullish quarter, bullish October, big hammer right here, right? So it's kind of pushing up into the upper Bollinger Band, which everything's kind of starting to point upward on the monthly Bollinger Band. So that's pretty bullish. You can see already we have futures are already green. So we'll see how that looks going into tomorrow. The weekly chart is also showing a very bullish week, right? So, again, it was only, 1 day so far is what this contains, but it was a bullish day, right? But it's still a weekly chart, right? So we'll just have to see what kind of, additional, volume and time and continuation that gets, right? Because right now the weekly chart is up, over the upper Bollinger Band, right? Once it gets over the upper Bollinger Band and RSI gets overbought, right? Essentially when it gets into the greater than 70 region, right? That can be like an area of concern, right? So last time we did that was, what we closed about was right here. Right, this is back in January of 2018. Okay, so that's where all the volatility started, right, in the market, right? So that was pretty much it. Close over the upper Bollinger Band right there with the RSI greater than that 70 area, and then we had a big down move after that the next 2 weeks. So we're starting to get in kind of that zone. So, but RSI still has a little bit of room to go. So maybe we've got another week or two, right? And then watch out, right? So we've got a little bit of a dip here showing up in the weekly cloud, right? There's some potential, kind of coming forward that hey, maybe we are a little overextended and the market's ready for a correction. So something to keep an eye on, right? So it's starting to get a little steep there. So very, very good stuff. All right, so from there, daily chart, right? You can see we had again basically a Marubozu day on Friday. That kind of gave everything a go. And in fact, right, this was a day where things started to look long, right? We closed over all these levels right here bullishly, right? And then we just got the continuation move. Now we had a Fed day here. We gave up all the Fed day gains and we kind of came back up halfway into the range at the end of the day on Thursday. And then Friday just had that big move. And so again, more momentum, right? Buy the dip, more momentum into the into the next day. So that's what we've been seeing right now. So very, very interesting stuff. Macro chart, right? The geometric chart right here, right? So you can see, boom, all the way through, 2016 all the way up to 2018. Very, very bullish market, right? Relatively sensible to trade, buy the dip, that type of stuff. And then January, that whole thing we just looked at there with the weekly over the upper Bollinger Band and RSI over 70, right? So once we got there, boom, that's where volatility kicked in. And volatility has just been crazy ever since then, right? So from 2018 all the way here, almost to 22. Wow, can you believe it's been like 2 years almost? It's incredible. So all the way through this mess, right, that we've been working through. So, but we try to look at it the best we can, right, and try to figure it out. And so that is where kind of this week's theme comes in, because I really do want to talk about this flat that we're seeing in the extended market right here. So I'll get to that in a minute. This is the price action from Friday. So what you can see is just a gap and go essentially. So we gap up, right? We start working our way back to all-time highs, right? Bullish candle right here, right? Get to the next level, gives you a 15-hour level right here. Bullish close over this R3 level, pushes through, right? Our other levels gives us a little bit of a pause after that. A couple upper shadows right here. Test these levels back down to the 15-hour low. I'm sorry, the 15-hour high, and then it works its way back up, right? And then just basically closes at all-time high. So just incredible stuff. So very, very good stuff there. So yeah, So that is the state of the market going into tomorrow. So pretty excited about that stuff. Okay, guys. So today, this week, again, I like talking about Elliott Wave because it does give us a lot of kind of big term macro perspective of the market. You can also trade Elliott Wave on shorter time frames. It gets a little tricky and monotonous. Just kind of watch it. So I just prefer the price action intraday. But when like if you're in like a wave 3, right, up, right, that's an impulsive move up. And so what do we want to do? And we're in a wave 3 up, right? We want to look for longs, right? So buy pullbacks or find great, candlestick setups intraday for us to go long, or, bounces off key levels or breakouts over key levels, right? And so that is why I like doing it. So it does help, right? So today I want to talk about this week I want to talk about flats, right? So flats is one of the corrections, right? We talked about triangles. Triangles are a corrective pattern, right? So we talked about that. And we also have the flats, right? So the flats, so the different corrective patterns, right? You have triangles, you have zigzags, right? And you have flats, and then you have some complex corrections, right? And those are basically it. So you're either having an impulse wave, right? Or you're having a corrective wave, right? An impulse wave is a 5-wave move, and a corrective wave is a 3-wave move, okay? Which can be extended, right? Because of various extensions. So one corrective move, right? We said is a triangle. Another corrective move is the flat. And so that's what we look at, right? So in an uptrending market, waves 2 and 4 are the corrective waves, right? And so they're either going to form, in this case, a triangle, or they're going to form, in this case, a flat, right? So for wave 2, right? So there we go. So we'll take a look a little bit deeper in that. So basically all a flat is a 3-wave move. It's an ABC, right? And it's typically contained within the height, right, of wave 1, right? And it never will extend below the wave 1 low. Same with wave 4 essentially will never go into the high of wave 1, right? And typically a regular flat is not going to go over the high of wave 3. Okay, so that basically gives the idea. So what we would have is, just to kind of show you here pictorially what it would look like. So we'd have wave 1, wave 2, right? Wave 3, wave 4, and then wave 5. That would be your up move, right? So this leg right here and this leg right here, right, are corrective waves. So if you kind of zoom into this wave, this down wave right here for wave 2, right, it would be a 1, 2, 3, right? And so that is essentially a flat move, right? Because it stayed below the end of wave 1, right? And it didn't. Let's just say this is wave 1 start right here. Okay, we're just kind of zooming into this guy right here for these guys. So that would be your A, B, C. So it's always an ABC move. Okay? So that's what we're looking for. That is what we're looking for. All right? So what does that mean? What does that mean, pictorial? What does that mean? So basically what I would look for is, in any impulsive move, like so wave 5 here is an impulsive move, right? I would look for, right, a wave 2, right, would be, some sort of flat continuation. So what we can do is we can zoom in here and just look and see. And you can always go to a shorter term time frame to see what's going on there. So we already know this wave, impulsive wave is essentially done, right? So if this were wave 2, which I think it would be, so this could be like a push up. This would be a wave 1. And then here I would look at this. I would just simply go like this. There's like a little A right there. Okay, a B, and a C. Okay, and that finishes your wave 2 of your subwave, right? Your subwave 2 of wave 5, right? Because wave 5 makes up 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and then, zigzag down here, and then boom, 5. So these ABC corrections within an impulsive wave are your flats, right? And typically, that is what we see, right? So very, very good stuff. That is the basic definition of a flat. Tomorrow we're going to get a little more into it. We're going to talk about the expanded flat, which I think, as long as we don't, flush down tomorrow after hitting the top of this channel, which I think we're working on right now. So, if this is indeed, and it looks like it, 1, 2, 3, 4, truncated triangle, 5, then we could be working on a flat right here. So I was originally, thinking, hey, maybe this is it, right? Because wherever it was right here, if we don't cross through all-time highs, then we might work our way back down, right? Because here's your A, B, and I would look for a wave C down. So, but now it's starting to look a little more complex, right? So we have A, potential B up, and then C. Now, if B is here, this still could be an expanded flat right here. So but we'll talk about that tomorrow a little bit more. So it's just something to look at, right? If this is the top of the channel, we may see a move down coming up, but it might either be here at the top of the channel, or it might work its way to this pitchfork up here, which is like 32.74 or something like that. So that should be the next kind of resistance zone, particularly off of this macro pitchfork here. So it's a very, very interesting stuff. So good. So at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please plug those in the chat window and we'll get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up by 10:30, so we can all have a good night's sleep and have an awesome trading week this week. It was daylight savings today in the United States, and probably I think Canada too. And so the hours are a little bit different and all that stuff, but it is interesting, right? Because you wake up, you get like an extra hour of sleep, but now it's 9:45 right now Eastern time, New York time, but it actually feels like 10:45. So now it's just like, oh, what happened to that hour earlier? So it kind of messes with you a little bit. But anyway, we'll still try to get a good night's sleep no matter what, right? Right. Good. Okay, well, Shirley sent me an email. She has a bunch of great stocks on her watch list, but I just kind of picked out 5 of them that look pretty interesting. Actually, I think I got 6. So let's take a look at those real quick here. Well, not real quick, but we'll take a look at these right here. So the first one is interesting, right? So first is T. So T actually put in a T. Look at that on Friday. Look at that doji up there. That's amazing stuff. Very, very big recent high. This could be careful with this one, Shirley. This could be a reversal doji, right? Kind of stalled out up here, right? A little less volume, but still decent volume. Okay, so watch for a potential reversal off of that. Or it could be just like a massive doji sandwich, right? Here's your first part, pause up here, and then keep moving. So just use some caution. Kind of keep that Friday's high in your sights. QQQ, that'll be a good one. That'll be an interesting one to look at. This is normally we look at SPX, but just kind of looking right here. I think I've got like a macro. Look at that channel. That's pretty wild. Oh yeah, this is where I was talking about our action-reaction lines from Alan Andrews, right? So pretty amazing stuff right here. So action, major pivot, right? Reaction. Look at that. Look how it's holding that level right here. So very, very interesting stuff. So from there, let's see if it can work its way to the top of this, essentially this channel right here. So looking interesting, looking bullish, right? And all we would do is, right, to verify that bullishness is put a trend line on this, right? There's your high, there's a trend, just like that. As long as we hold that, right, bullish until proven otherwise. Now, is it going to take us all the way to the top of the channel? Maybe. Look at that, and that could be a rising wedge once it gets up there. And that is corresponding with 215 on the QQQ, so keep that in mind. Good. Snap. Snap is starting to look interesting. Definitely getting bullish here. Right? I was almost ready to swing this on Friday. It had a good close. The only thing was it was kind of a spinning top. I didn't like the upper shadow, but it did have a bullish close. Nice little jack in the box right here. Nice close right here on this day. So didn't like the decreased volume on this day, but this was actually a good day. So if today was a pause day for it, it might continue to work its way up. So Snap is definitely on the radar. JPM. Let's see, JPM, 1 second. For Monday. Okay, so JPM is also looking bullish here, right? So it's still holding this kind of bump of the bump and run. It's still holding that trend. I tried to break down a little bit, gave you a minor pivot here. If we close bearishly below that, we might get to this trend line right here. But so far, so good. Nice increasing volume. Nice close of basically, it closed at its highest closing highs, right? So pretty amazing stuff on that. V, so tough to buy up there. V, let's take a look. Yeah, V's actually looking pretty good. Here's your high, there's your levels right there. It's holding this trend line nicely. So again, it's has a little closing gap up here that it could fill, and then it could also work its way up to those highs up there. Very, very nice. SCHW, Schwab. Wow, super duper bullish after its down move, right? Here was essentially the down move right there. There's your first bullish close right there. I know it kind of gapped and gapped and gapped, but then boom, it gave that gap up the next day, which would have been huge, and then inside day and up. So right now, yeah, I mean, obviously it is bullish, so just be careful. There are lots of gaps below now. There's your high, there's your level. So as long as it holds this trend, right, you're bullish until proven otherwise. Great stocks, Shirley. Awesome charts. Awesome. MicroTrader, what's going on? Good evening. Let's see. So X and Con. Let's take a look. So let's take a look. X. Yeah, we were looking at this, I think, Friday at the close. This upper shadow was just too much. It shows that it came into too much resistance right here and kind of came back in. I like the volume, right? Good move after earnings, essentially, but just be careful, the way it closed off of that, like into that resistance area. So that's the only thing to keep an eye on. But if it closes bullishly, like in here, like even an inside day up in the upper end of this range, it could continue to work its way up, right? You got a closing gap, you got there, and this recent highs. So it should be interesting too. And then Con. Yeah, Morningstar Reversal, right? 1, 2, bar 1 of the Morningstar Reversal, bar 2 real body underneath this buy right here. Then you close 50% of the range at this bar right here. So it could be working on Morningstar. So just look as a breakout over that 25 level. Could start to work its way back up. Looking good, neighborhood. Good. Actually, what's going on? Good evening. I hope you had an awesome weekend. Let's see, Tesla and UNH. Yes, you love some UNH and Tesla. Actually, you can make a great living just watching these two stocks. You really could. Tesla's incredible, right? If you go to the macro trend line right here, right, it just broke out of that. Right, here's your macro trend line here, and then you had just from that level to that level, gave you this. Right, we got above that. Right, remember day 2 after earnings. Day 2 after earnings was definitely your squeeze day right there. Nice. Gave a little move right here. Looked like it was working on a doji sandwich. A little bit big of an upper shadow, and it's kind of worked its way back there. But I do like how it's holding this 310 level. Right, it's kind of like the 50% range of, the gap up level, right? From here to day 2, right there. It's a very, very powerful stuff. So holding that level pretty nicely. So I think it could be working eventually on something nice. And then UNH has just been so bullish, after earnings, and gave us a couple good entries, in the group. We had this inside day right here. Remember that it pulled back, tagged that inside day high, and then went. Right, that was like 20-cent entry to like $2 intraday, right? And then it just continued that nice little jack in the box right there, and then a move up, came back. Right, I don't have the cloud on these charts here, but tested the cloud and then worked its way back up again. So that was great. Prayer Kid, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, man. Hope you're doing great. Alfredo, good evening. Thank you again for your support. Gio, what's going on? Abby, Dell, and Apple. Yeah, let's take a look. So ABBV. Oof. Very bullish. Tough to chase here for sure. Let's see. So it's getting interesting. It did close above this pivot. What did it? The high there was 81. It closed right at that high, right at that pivot. So tough. Right, if it closed at like 78 or something like that, that'd be nice. But it closed at 81.75. It closed right at that level. So, and it tried to get above. So watch out for potential resistance right there. It might come back to the trend line, and then it might get a little bullish again over that. And then Dell. Inside day. It's looking interesting, right? This little channel right here started to break its way out. It closed bullishly above it here, worked its way up. Nice bullish close here, but with decreased volume, so that's an avoid. Right, so inside day right here, let's see if it can get a little more power. But it does look like it's pivoting back down. It might come back and retest some of these levels, so just be careful with that. And then Apple, more all-time highs. I'm sure we'll get some upgrades tomorrow. I don't know how long they're going to keep pushing this. Like, I think they're just trying to get all new retail money with these free commissions into these stocks before they flush them all out. Right, so but right now it's looking bullish, right? So obviously, right, just continues to work its way up. I mean, just super duper trending. So again, bullish until proven otherwise on this one. So we'll look for setups intraday on that tomorrow. And it is my pleasure. Thank you. IT Fun, what's happening? Good evening. Hope you had a great weekend. Wendy, what's going on? Good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. What time is it in Singapore now? Because it's time. It is 10:51. Okay, yeah, so you're still on. So it's really, well, it's not late for you, but it's later in the day. It's getting almost lunchtime there now. So yeah, okay, so that puts you 11 hours ahead now because of our pullback here. Cool. Good. Well, good, almost a good lunchtime to you. Good. Nudie Poo, what's going on? Kron and Facebook. Yeah, let's take a look. Cron. Wow, super duper tricky right here. Obviously, macro trend line down. Last time it came to that macro trend, it's like, boom, see ya, right? That's your channel. And then we've got this kind of trend line working right here. Tried to break out this day on the Canadian, selling pot thing, and then it came back down, and it's just kind of chopping around here. So we're really just waiting for earnings on this thing. That's really the key. See if it'll give us new direction. And then Facebook. Inside hammer, inside yammer, right there, a jammer, right there. So, ultimately, right, whoa, that fib is pretty cool. Ultimately here to here, right? So it was really tough to get any real bullish closes over anything with Facebook. So again, here's your next level. It's really got to close bullishly over this 198, 188.50. So, but it is an inside day right there. It's starting to look okay. Sarah, good evening. I hope you're doing well. Thomas, what's happening? Good evening. Heather, what's going on? Good evening. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope everybody's doing well. Doc Admin, what's going on? Costco. Oh, Costco, oh, please pull back for us unless anybody's long in here. But, this is what Costco likes to do, right? It likes to do like a big earnings thing, and then it likes to just kind of chop around a little bit. So we had this great earnings right here, right? Had a nice little swing up. And then it kind of came back trying to chop around again. So, this was a relatively bullish day right here, but again, the volume wasn't there. So over this little trend line, so we have to look really for it to close basically bullishly over 300 with some increasing volume to get interested again. And Adobe. Kind of interesting, right? We have this macro downward trend line right here. Started to poke its head out of there for a little bit, right? But then I put in like a little pivot right there, and it's kind of working its way around. So now it has to close bullishly over basically this 282 level, right, with increasing volume. So another one interesting to keep an eye on. Doc Admin, ANET, huge drop. Oh yeah, but a pretty impressive reversal. And so guys, we've talked about this a couple times. Keep an eye on ANET tomorrow. We'll have it on our 30 orb. But if it gives you an inside 30 tomorrow, or some some of our other bullish techniques, right? Watch for a move, right? That big drop down with a big green candle on high volume usually can see a nice little move second day. Okay, so keep an eye on that one. Great one. In fact, let me add that to the bullish list right there. Good. Cool one. What's up? Can we check FTNT? Yeah, let's take a look. FTNT. And what do you think about 92 resistance? Let's see. I think it's pretty awful, right? I mean, it's definitely there for sure. You had this huge upper shadow last earnings, right? Now you have another upper shadow here this earnings, right? And the next day after that came down. Now that was red. This is green, right? So we may see a little bit of a chop here. It may actually want to start to work its way back up again because it couldn't handle it there. So wait for a bullish close over that level, right? And then things could get potentially a little more interesting, right? Because that actually ended up becoming the new pivot point. So watch for a close above basically a bullish close over 93 with increasing volume. Okay, and then HCAT. Which if you rearrange it, it's chat. Anyway, cool. Yeah, big bullish close. This was a good day to swing it. That was a good day to enter it on the Jack of the Box. And then this is starting to feel like we missed a good part of the move. So I would just be careful with it. But if it gives you a nice intraday setup, right, this could be good. Yeah, that was good last Wednesday for an entry, right? And then nice move on Friday. So it's tough. It feels like we're a little bit late to it, but it may still have more. It's got earnings coming up, so be careful with that. Well, it could have earnings run too. Doc Admin Twitter? Yeah, absolutely. Always a good one to watch. Wow, Twitter just got pummeled, right, with their political stuff, right? Here's your low. I mean, basically, that's your line right there. So, I mean, if we close bullishly over, we'll following wedge right here too, but if we close bullishly over Friday's highs with increasing volume, then we could look at it for a potential swing attempt. My pleasure, my pleasure. Yakuza, what's going on? Shop till you drop. Shop till it drops. Okay, so Shop had a double inside day the other day, open inside the range, give a nice move, but barely a pullout right there. So we've got a couple things that are pretty interesting on Shop. So what I've done is we're really tracking this thing super Elliott wave-wise, right? It just sets up so well for it, right? It had this nice impulsive move up, right, within this channel. Got to the top of the channel, right? and reversed off of that, right? Then it came down. You could tell it's doing a zigzag, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your 5. Then your 3 to me looks like a flat A, B, C, right? So 5, A, B, C, 3, which also then could be part of a larger flat right here. So I have here A, B, C. So this is key right here. So here's your A, and I'm thinking A, B, C, B. So that's 3, 3, and we should expect after this, if this is the low, if it breaks out of this channel here, we should expect the 5-wave move up. It doesn't necessarily have to be super impulsive, but it could get to, I think it could get this 350 region, maybe 360, and then that might find some resistance, and then we see another sharp move down in it. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on it, and then once it breaks out of this channel, then we'll channel it back up to get to wave C, and then once we get to wave C with some sort of confirmation or a reversal doji thing like we had here at the cloud and the 50% retracement, right, then we'll look to go short on that. So that should be very, very interesting on SHOP. Okay, so Tesla, right, we just looked at that there, huge gap up. This was a huge day to go long, a little bit of follow through the next day and kind of back in, but it's holding the 50% retrace of these two candles. So let's see if that continues to hold there. Roku. Here we go. Do I not have any low? Oh, this is a perfectly clear chart right here. Let me go to there. All right, so here we go. So we had a little bit of a bull flag here at the upper trend line level. Then we launched off of that. Now we're sort of pivoting off of this, right? So this could be like, for instance, like wave 1, wave 2. It could be starting wave 3. So this could be 1, 2 back to the trend line. Boom. All right, so let's see how it handles that trend line when we get there. And it would actually be appropriate if it kind of chopped to the trend line right to earnings and then launched. Got a nice gap up here. So, I don't know. Interesting. Bullish until proven otherwise. And then Netflix. I'm not necessarily saying holding through earnings, but it does look very interesting. Netflix is kind of tricky right here, right? So the macro trend line, it tried to get over it here, right? Got earnings that reversed hard off of earnings, right? And so now it's trying to recover some of that range. It did fill that closing gap right there, so I don't know if it's done. It had an inside day, failed to take it down entirely on Friday. So we'll see. We'll see. At this point, here's our trend line. There's your level right there, and there's your trend line. So, if it gets weak, it could work its way back to this area right here and then possibly back up. So very interesting stuff on Netflix. Good. Minesh, what's going on? SHOP, do you think it broke the downtrend? Not yet. Not yet. So that was what we were looking at right there. So ultimately, this is not done. Okay, so any zigzag, right, which is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any zigzag, that's an impulsive move out of an uptrend move, right? That clearly is impulsive, right? That was a fast drop, like that, right? So by definition, a zigzag is a 5, 3, 5. So this has to finish, right? So it's not done yet. So now it may short-term break out here, finish this little wave C of the ABC corrective pattern here for this wave, macro wave B, right? So, but then once it gets there, then it should really flush, right? So you should basically see here from here. So we may see it work its way all the way down to, well, let's say it is there. What we'll do is we'll switch this channel. No, it's not doing it right now. Basically, we would switch this channel here, and we could see a move. I mean, we could see a move back down to 200. We really could. So yeah, so we just have to be careful. Be careful with that. Harvey, what's going on? Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Matthew, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys, everybody, for your support. Dumbesty, what's going on? Z, still swinging some. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, we looked at an entry on this one. This came on our radar this day. Okay, and as it continued to work its way up, so this could just be a 1, 2, 3 pullback, and then possibly continue working its way up there. So just be careful with earnings, as that's coming up pretty soon. Triple M. Yeah, I mean, very strong move. Look at that, it held trend. Second time it tested the trend line with a bullish close on Friday. So yeah, it is bullish. Some increased volume would be nice, but I'm getting there. RH, I don't think this thing will ever break down. All I can say is this: it's at the trend line and it's holding it, the macro trend line. Okay. All right. So it's holding that trend. Now, if it did break below it, it kind of has a little bit of a low right here, right? So if it broke below Friday's lows, you know, so hard to short this thing. It's like I almost just wanted to close under this guy. It's 160, 162 to 160, and then we could look to finally short this thing. But gosh, this thing has been so strong. It's been epic. It really has been. Good. Oh, and then WBA, sure. Yeah, I mean, bullish close, good volume, back over the the only thing I would say is just a little bit of resistance right here, right at this 58 level. But if you get a good intraday setup, you know, it is bullish. So it's a good one to look at. Nice. Amara, what's happening? MDB and Coop. Thank you for bringing out a couple of the software names. Still struggling here. Still struggling. You had a couple of decent little scalpy swing type, you know, overnight days right here. Then it came back down. That's gonna work. I mean, it's just really, really tricky here. So right now it's at this macro pitchfork level. So see if that holds, and maybe it could work its way back up to like 142. But nothing too compelling on that one right now. Coop does like to move. Again, here's your expanded triangle. Gosh, every time I look at this, like you look at, like we looked at it up here, where it came down here, and now it's bouncing. Wow, you just gotta love this stuff. Bouncing right here. So, you know, where it goes from there, well, eventually it should work its way out of this expanded triangle, right? Because that should be your wave 4, right? So that would be like essentially 1, you know, ABC, 2 flat, right? 3, wave 4, and then boom, wave 5. You know, it should work its way up. So again, it may pull back to this macro trend line right here, right? Got back over it, so it may pull back here. This 135 could be a buying opportunity. Coop is interesting. Yeah, my pleasure, Kawant. Amar Okta. Oh yeah, let's look at all these all the software names for sure. So Okta double inside day. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's coming on the list. 1 second. Nice. Yeah, double inside day strategy, right? You saw what happened right here, right? Double inside day, got down a little bit, came back to the range, and then flushed, right? Nice move right there. So let's see double inside day. Maybe it'll work its way back up. Looking good. Looking good, good, good. Thomas, yeah, Target and Starbucks, great. I like how Target and Starbucks, you know, sometimes there's a Starbucks in a Target. Well, right now Target is holding this trend line, right? This macro trend line right here. So nice spinning top right here. So it could be a good reversal for it to work its way back up. If it starts to work its way back down, just be careful on it. S-Bucks. I mean, had, you know, in line with expectation earnings, like nice gap up and then reversed, and now it's holding this trend line here on the reverse side of it. So see if that holds. If it does, then it may be an opportunity to buy the drip. Buy the drip. Buy the drip. And what's happening? GLD. Yeah, getting there. It just needs to close bullishly above this guy right here. If it closed basically bullishly over 143 with increased volume, it could be a good move potential. BYND. BYND might see some chop, right? It came back down, you know, filled a prior gap, right, on this down move here, and then it gapped down on earnings, so it's kind of just chopping around here. Just kind of see how it holds this trend line right here, see if it can work its way back up. And then Diz. Diz is starting to look interesting. Strong day on Friday. Did not close over this key level right here, so it has to close over, basically just figure 134 to be bullish, right, with increased volume. That's what I'm seeing on Diz. Doc Admin, can we talk a little bit about Trendline? There's a webinar on it already. Yeah, so let's see. I've done a series on. Let me send you this. I don't know if I've done a full series on trend lines. You know, I talk about it a lot, but what I do have is, give me 1 second. If you watch this 3-minute video on trend lines that I did, and I'll put it here in the description right here. Check that one out first. If you have any questions on that, let me know. It goes through it really intently. Basically, what you do is you look for your high, right, or a relative high, right, or a significant high, something that makes sense, right? And you look for the low, and then you move the trend line out so it doesn't intersect with anything else, and that gives you an idea. And we use trend lines, 1, to see what the trend is, and 2, to look for reversals, right? Because everything's going to reverse. Well, most things reverse eventually. And what we do is with those reversals, we look for, here's your first attempt to break out of the trend line. Right? It's not necessarily the day to go bullish. We want to close over that. Once we can close over that bullishly, then we can basically assume that we've confirmed the reversals in place, and then we work our way in that reversal direction. So yeah, definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. If you have any questions, let me know. Wendy, yeah, let's take a look at a couple. So we got FIS. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Not enough volume though to really get me interested. And we do have earnings coming up too. But this is exactly what we look for right here. And I think you might have mentioned that a while back. But we have this here, and then we have this here, right? It was tough. I mean, this is a nice close, but the volume isn't there. We got earnings coming up, so that's the only thing that's kind of like a little bit about it. And then IBB. Whew. That's a bullish close too. I really do like that. Only issue is, so here, document. There's your high, there's your low, right to that next guy right there. Okay, so then we look for a reversal off of that. Right, we look for a bullish close. Here's your first minor pivot area right here. Then we look for a bullish close of that right here with increased volume. Okay, it pulled back a little bit, but it worked. Right, it came back up. Now you have macro-wise, you have this is major resistance, right? And so at that point, you can kind of go, all right, well here's your low, there's your level right there. So we did close bullishly above all this, and I like the increasing volume. So this is bullish, but this is also a big candle. Okay, so anytime you have a big candle, a lot of times you see a pause, right? So you have a big candle right here, we kind of pause. Here's a big candle right here. This did get follow through. So just be careful. It might give you an inside day. If it gives you an inside day, right, then that's not really the best. Sorry guys, it's a little bit weak. I didn't see that guy was right there. All right, well that changes things a little bit. That makes this the first minor pivot over it. So wait and see at this point, Wendy, on this one. See if we can close above that again bullishly. Oh, it's tough. RSA overbought. Very, very tricky area. It's had an epic move up. So just be careful with that. See a little difference, a little tick makes. You gotta keep an eye on those. BLDR. Oh, that's an all-time high type thing, right? Not all-time highs. Is it? Okay, good. Yeah. So bullish close right here. There's your level that it just kind of pushed above. Right, so big gap up here on earnings. Look for a push over that day's high, over Friday's high. Then you can see that. Yeah, I saw one of these the other day. Cool. And then C-Russ. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So there's your first day high up a gap. Then you get a push through there. You can get a momentum move through it. Tough to chase here. Tough to chase here, but very, very bullish. Nice, Wendy. 92 Shamir, what's going on? Thoughts on GE? Yep, let's take a look. Yeah, so GE, we would have looked to have actually gone long, probably on this candle right here. It did have a little decreased volume, so that's tricky, but obviously that would have worked. But again, that's through earnings, so it's tough to look to trade through. Again, we're right here at those levels that it tried to push here through that day's high. So just inside day up, so just look for a push over basically Friday's high to see if we can give you a nice move possibly to that 1050, 1079 level. Good stuff. Oh, and then Goose. Goose was looking good the other day, right? I did like the bullish close over these levels right here, a little upper shadow. So it could be consolidating, a little bit of a bull flag, and then might be retesting the bottom of that bull flag right here. Okay, kind of retesting it and then see if that works its way back up. But it is looking pretty good. Good, yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, no problem, Doc. Yeah, let me know how that goes, and then if you still have questions after that, you can bring them in tomorrow or whenever you come back. So. Good stuff, guys. Great charts and good discussion. We'll talk more about the expanded flat, which looks like it could be the market is putting one in right now, or Apple, and some of those big ones. So that's pretty significant stuff. So, but yeah, I appreciate everybody's chart requests. Great stuff. Thanks for listening in. If you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube and check out the links in the description. And really, really appreciate everybody. Thank you, everybody, for your support. I hope you have a great rest tonight and a good evening. And so we have an awesome trading tomorrow. So. Remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.